Hi, welcome to Map 117 Winter Quarter 2022. So my name's Anna, and at the top you're going to also see my email. This is the greatest way to contact me. You can also contact me through Canvas. That should also give me a copy to my Big Ben email so then I can get back to you. So both ways work, but just want to highlight that that's my email right there. Then the final for this day is going to be Wednesday, March 23rd. So what that really means is you need to make sure you're done with the finals, because there's 2 parts, by Wednesday, March 23rd by midnight. Now, you can be done a month before that due date, but just know, that's the final day. So I have to get the grades on, so that's the only reason why I have to have this done by then. Now, required materials, you can find a workbook at the bookstore, and Karen or whoever is there will be more than happy to help you there. And then the other thing is you're going to need a calculator. Now, feel free to use the online calculators. There's a couple, I like certain websites, just you can just type in scientific calculator and you can find some that are just there if you don't want to buy a calculator, and that totally works. And then the other thing is these workbooks are also going to be found on the Canvas course page. So you could also just use it online. You don't actually have to have the printed version if you don't want to, because you can have your own, say, notebook that's just with, your own notebook, and just go ahead and write your own notes on it. So just know that there's both options there. Now, we are an online course, so we are going to be using wallmap.org. That's where most of your coursework is going to be done, right? So that's where you're going to watch your videos and do problems and take your tests. But you're also going to be using Canvas. Canvas is going to be where Honor Lock is, which is what will be recording you when you take those exams. Canvas is also going to be where your announcements are and where you submit your test paper after you take an exam. Submitting your test paper is my way to indicate to me that you're done with that test, and then I can go ahead and grade it. Zoom is another thing we're going to be using, and this is our Zoom room. So you could just go ahead. That should be just also a link right there, right? You can click on that, and that should take you right there to Zoom. Now, communication with me, email. And if we have anything we talked about over Zoom, if you want to follow up on an email, that's really great because it just creates a record, right? So always go ahead and feel free to do that. It's kind of a good way to go through things like that. And then how soon will I know my grade? Well, your grade will be, you might get a grade in WAMA, but I will have to go in and also finalize that grade there. And then what I'm going to do, and also with your test papers, I'll go through everything, and then I will score you in actually Canvas. So that will be where your final grade is. And so you'll get a grade for each module, and there's 5 modules. So that's why it's kind of like a variable credit course, is that it's really easy to break it down into 5 credits because there's 5 modules. And then the final is in the final module where you get the grade there. So breakdown of this course. So you're going to have a workbook. That means as you watch videos in WAMAP, they're going to be on YouTube videos. And you're going to work out those problems by hand. And it's just really important to work out the problems, not just to watch the problems being done, because it just helps with you doing the homework. It's just going to make it a little bit easier for you. Then where we get into the grading part, we're going to meet one-on-one. So this is going to be over Zoom, and it's time we agree upon. So this is just for me to check in with you and make sure you don't have any questions or concerns, or if you do, we'll address them. But so we're going to, and it could be really short, or it could be longer, depending on your questions. So just know it's kind of variable on how long that could be. Could be literally a couple minutes sometimes. So just know, but that will be graded. and it's going to go under, it's called your workbook grade, and you'll get, when you get into WAMAP, you'll see that there is different grading. And instead of grading your workbook, just because we're online, I'm going to just grade the mini 101 because I think it's really important just to make sure we're checking in with each other. Now, homework on WAMAP, that's going to be 20%. And once you get into WAMAP, or if you have done WAMAP, that will make a lot more sense, right, if you've done it. So just know that that is going to be 20% of your grade. Test. So then you're going to take tests. And that's going to be 75%, which is, but what's nice about that is it is a very large number. Just know that you can do retakes and that works for you. So, right, that's going to be in your favor. If you had a bad morning or afternoon whenever you took the exam, just know there is always a second chance there. Then pre-test. So a pre-test is like, say, hey, I already know this information on this module, and you can just go ahead and skip it if you score 85% or above on that pre-test. And then you can skip the whole module and just move on. This way, you don't have to go through material that you already know. So just know that that's also there for you, and it's at the beginning of the module. Now, tests, retakes. That's also right. So say you got a score lower than 8% on the test, then you would do a retake. And then when you take a retake, so you want to score 80% or above, and it doesn't matter what your grade is, above 80%, you're still going to get final grade for that module, which will be an 80%. So just know, even if you do really well on that retake, you're still going to get the 80% because you got it on a retake. So still there for your benefit doing retakes. I still think it's a good thing, but it kind of makes you want to do well the first time. So try not to do the retakes, but if you do, that's also going to be okay. Right, so here are some tips to help you succeed. I mean, definitely work out problems by hand. Do homework problems in the same manner as an exam or a quiz, right? And then if you have questions, make sure you ask me, peers, or go to the Student Center. And what I mean by the Student Center, I mean the STEM Center. The STEM Center is a really great resource. You can also click here, and you can kind of look at their hours and availability. They do have online and they do have in person. So there's always that. The other thing is when you're in WAMAP, there's going to be this thing called additional resources. So that's going to be where you can find other videos where maybe you didn't like the video that you saw on a certain topic. You could always go to additional resources and probably find another video by someone else on that topic. And that's just another way to kind of get the information, because maybe you need someone else to explain it to you in a different way. And that's totally fine, and I think it's really helpful to look at other people's work. So the other thing is always ask questions and get clarification on topics you don't understand or miss on assessments. Okay, and then academic honesty. So please don't cheat or appear that you're cheating. So like when you're taking the exam on honor lock, make sure you don't have your phone out, right? Like, or look like you're looking anything up, or right, just don't cheat. Otherwise we'll have to work through we'll talk and we'll work through what that means if you do. Access and accommodations for students with disabilities. So just know that if you feel like you're a person who needs extra time, this is kind of where you want to go to work through that with them. And then, then the other really important thing is how to get started in WAMAP. So if you've never used WAMAP before, you don't even know what it is, it's an online resource, it's free. That's why we use it. And all you do is you'll go to wamap.org, you're going to register as a new student, and then you're going to look at this course ID. So depending on what program you're in, you're going to do a different course ID. And then you're going to do an enrollment key, which is like a password. And that number is the same for all of those courses, and it's 117. So that's how you get into WAMAP, right? And so also if you've used WAMAP in a previous course, you're just going to go enroll in a new class, and then, right, once again, that's where all the information is, and the key, once again, is right there. Or say you've done this same course from a previous quarter, just log into WAMAP and start off where you left off, right? So those are kind of ways to get started. And then this is kind of how an employer model course works. So a lesson's going to begin with a short video, right? And then you're going to answer questions on that video, right? That's really similar to it. And then once you get to 100%, you can move on to the next video. And so you're going to do several videos like this. And then when you do kind of like, maybe it's like, say, whole numbers. Once you're done with that, you're going to go into a homework assignment. And there could be anywhere from, say, 6 to 12 questions on it, right? And you're going to complete the homework assignment, which is going to be an overview of everything in that section. And then you're just going to keep doing this until you get to the practice test or / review. And then that's kind of just a review of the whole module. And then once you get an 80% or above, then you can go into the test, right? And you can go and take the module test. And that will be all in WAMAP, right? So we're all in WAMAP for all of this. The only thing about taking a test is you're going to need honor lock in order to kind of record you. So there's all that information on honor lock in Canvas too. But this is just to go over our syllabus here. And so the next one is the next video will be to talk about our Canvas course page.